Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we'll be talking about Invest 95L, soon to be a couple days down the road, Tropical Storm, and eventually Hurricane Lee. This is a couple hundred miles southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands here, and if we take a look at our system here, you can see it is just getting off the coast of Africa. This is Africa on the eastern part of the screen, and it's not bad for an invest. Our low pressure is roughly in that area, and we have convection on the northeast side and southwest of the system. But it's not bad for an invest, I won't lie. Coming off Africa, it looked like a true monster, and it is still living up to that hype as we go down the road. North of this line is very dry air trying to come into the system, but the system is generally going to move west-northwest, so it won't really get that much dry air worked in. But our system is rotating counterclockwise, so from time to time it will drag in dry air into the core of the system, which will prevent it from strengthening for a little bit. But once it gets to about this area, about the next day or two, it will start to, let's say, how do I put this? Evade the dry air and eventually start to strengthen as it makes its way to the Caribbean islands. And if we go back to our hurricane models here, and as you can see, this is our hurricane models generally moving in a west-northwest direction. This is at about 144 hours right here. And as you can see, it is just northeast of the Caribbean islands, so it looks like they will be spared from the system, at least for now. Of course, they might see some gusty winds, a little bit of storm surge, high waves, but as for now, at least today is September 3rd, Sunday at 8 o'clock, it looks like they will evade, thankfully, this system and won't be targeted. Now, this is the latest run of the GFS. Before I play this, I want you to be very aware it does show an extreme solution, but I just want to show you the latest. So please don't get too worked up over this run. This is still almost 2 weeks out from what the GFS is showing, but I just want to show you the latest once again. So right now, as of this time, our storm is sitting right in this location, general location. So if we track it along, as you can see, a low pressure system forms and makes a general west-northwest movement. And by 2 p.m. Saturday, it is just sitting northeast of the Caribbean islands at 1,001 millibars. So it generally takes this track, roughly, that's not exact, but roughly takes that track to the Caribbean islands. And notice at the top of your screen here, you have a very strong high pressure system building in southeastern Canada, and you also have a high pressure over here. So this whole area is blocked off. This whole area is blocked off. There's only a few places where this storm could go in that situation. Let me just, I'll leave that up for now, and I'll switch to a 500 millibar heights right quick. So once again, our high pressure is sitting there. You got another one over here. There is no general weak or easy way this storm could go except towards the coast. Let me just lower this. There's no, like I said, there's no easy way this storm could get out. There's a high pressure also sitting right here. That's also forcing the storm to go towards the coast. Now, if you believe this next few moments with the GFS run, it wants to take the storm in this general direction, as shown by the GFS right now. And then once that happens, once again, your high pressure is still sitting up here in southeast Canada. And eventually it weakens to a degree, allowing the storm to go towards North Carolina. And you also have, once again, our high pressure sitting out here. So, high pressure up here, high pressure right here. The only way this storm could get out, if this were to be correct, is up the coast, up in this region. And exactly the GFS does that and takes it out into, from North Carolina, straight over the East Coast. This would be one of the most insane storms to ever happen if this did happen. Once again, we need a lot to go right for this storm to happen like that. If we go take a look at the earlier runs, 0Z, you can see the storm isn't here. Oh my god. But the storm wasn't even on the GFS on the 0Z. The trough that kicks it out, notice there's not really a high pressure here, but a storm does get close. It's in between Bermuda and the East Coast, but notice our trough is here, at least at this time. And if we want to go to the 18Z, the trough is gone. So if that trough is gone and we just have our high pressure sitting in Southeast Canada, we will have a problem on our hands. But notice, once again, this is 300 hours out. If we're making significant changes like this from run to run basis, we got to watch this storm very closely and everything that changes from run to run. If we go back to, let me just move this up a little bit. Last run, you had our storm being kicked out. Notice our trough is here on this run. If you go back one more run, our trough is over here. And if we go back one more run, we have a trough, well, I would say low pressure system here and here, but we have no storm system. So if you want to fast forward this once again, this is 12Z, I believe. No, this is I'm sorry. This is 6Z on the GFS. This is 12Z, and now this is the latest run of the GFS. And the European is doing something similar, so that's a little bit alarming. As you can see here, we don't have a ridge to extent, but we have a low pressure system here, and here's our hurricane. If we go back one run here to, well, two runs. If we go back two runs here on the 0Z, you could see it's all the way out over here now. Let me just slow this down so we could get a good visual of everything. The hurricane is here, roughly. We put a dot there, and we have a low pressure system trough right there. Now, if we go to the 12Z, we could see that the low pressure system is over here now, and the hurricane is a little bit more west and is not being picked up by that low pressure system that would eventually drag it out. Now, there is one more model I would like to show, which is the Canadian here. This is 240. As you can see, our low pressure system is right here. It's not that strong compared to the other models, but it is still strong. We have a ridge in Southeast Canada, so we'd probably would probably be trapped and want to go either in this direction or this direction. And if we go back to the 0Z, you can see we do have a trough. So the trends for today is that the trough has disappeared and it has been replaced by a ridge. And I'll be showing you right here. It will be replaced by a trough going more out to the east, and you'll be left with a ridge. Now, if that were to happen, then the East Coast would definitely have to look out for a storm coming up the coast. Finally, I just want to show you the track possibilities I see happening as of now. Once again, this is 1 to 2 weeks away, so anything can change. As you can see, just from 3 runs ago, a lot has changed from this one storm. Track 1, where is our high pressure does exist up here and is very strong, and it suppresses the storm into the Caribbean, into eventually the Gulf and Florida. That is track number 1. Track number 2, once again, our high pressure is here, but is not as strong, allowing it to come up the East Coast and eventually ride the East Coast like we've seen with the GFS. And lastly, the third track, which hopefully does manage to happen, our storm does form once again a hurricane by here. I think we'll at least have a tropical depression by this stage right here, if not a tropical storm. There is indeed a trough. Let me just move this out of the way so I can get a better visual. There is indeed a trough, and the high pressure is more out to the west, if not to the east more. And then the trough digs and picks it up and takes it out to sea. That would be the best case scenario. But as of now, we truly do not know what could happen. Anything is on the table. Anything and everything, I should say, is on the table. Anywhere from the fishes east to Bermuda into the Gulf of Mexico. I hope you guys really did enjoy this video, and I hope you guys stay tuned throughout this time. We could be looking at a busy